Well, here we are. Good morning to all those who are joining us on Facebook Live. And I want to start off with a little disclaimer here this morning. I'm really not in a good frame of mind. Yesterday, I got news that one of my spiritual heroes had passed away. It's a woman by the name of Rachel Held Evans. And she'd been struggling with her health, a lot of different issues, and if you're interested in what health issues were going on, you can Google it and look it up. But she's 37 years old, had a husband, a 3-year-old child, and a soon-to-be 1-year-old child. A very, very, very well-known author, quite a controversial figure within evangelical Christianity, which is probably why I liked her so much, because I like people that challenge assumptions and beliefs. But I knew that her health wasn't really good and that there was a chance that this could happen, but I wasn't expecting it to happen. And my wife yesterday heard that she had passed, and I was in the middle of doing some premarital counseling with a couple. And I heard my wife come in, and I thought it was her going by my door, but she saw that I was busy and didn't come in my office to tell me, and I'm very glad she didn't, because I'd have been done. But afterwards, I saw the text that she had sent me, and I was really surprised at how it affected me. Many of you know that my wife and I lost a daughter back in 1993. On my wife's 25th birthday, actually, is when our daughter passed away. And other than her death, this has affected me the most. The only other one that affected me more was the death of my daughter. And at first I'm like, why is the death of somebody that I've never met affecting me like this? And a lot of it has to do with the spiritual journey that I've been on. I've mentioned this on and off here a little bit, and someday I'm going to give the full story behind it. But I went through, I guess you could call it a crisis of faith a few years ago. So the term now is called deconstruction. And it was about a 5-year process of my faith being almost totally and completely deconstructed. I was this close to being an agnostic. An agnostic is somebody that's not sure if God is real or not. I was so close. What kept me from going there was the miracles that I've experienced in my life that could not be explained by anything other than God. So I had I believed in Jesus. That I wasn't questioning, but I was questioning everything else. I'd get up on a Sunday morning and preach messages that I wasn't sure I even believed. But I would preach them because that's what I was taught, and I was holding on to the teachings and the traditions. And it was a brutal time, a very, very, very brutal and emotional time. And it was during that time that I came across Rachel Held Evans. And I started reading her blog posts and her books. And she is largely responsible for my reconstruction of faith. She introduced me to several other authors. Like through her blog, she would do a book review on an author, and it sounded interesting, so I would go get their book and I'd read it. And it was through her and the people that she introduced me to that my faith today is stronger and more vibrant than it has ever been. And when she died, I was a mess. I wasn't thinking straight. Even now, I'm still messed up. I'll get through it. Everybody gets through the death of people that they love. But again, I've never met this woman. She wouldn't know me if she met me on the street. When I meet her in heaven, I'm going to have to introduce myself. Say, I'm one of those people whose lives you changed. And this is a ripple that's going through the Christian community. And unfortunately, because she is somebody that challenged beliefs, that made people rethink things that needed to be rethought, that she would challenge tradition and dare to speak her mind, there were an awful lot of people that didn't like her. If you're well behaved within the church, they like you. If you follow all the rules, they like you. But one of the things I've discovered is well-behaved people never change the world. Amen. Well-behaved people never spark revival. They don't. And Rachel was one of those misbehaving, phenomenal Christian women that we need more of. And so before I get into my message this morning, I just want to let you know if my message doesn't sound like a normal message from me this morning, that's why. I really struggled putting this together today. But I do believe I have a word from the Lord for you this morning, and so I'm going to do my best to deliver it. But before I get into that, I would encourage you, don't be afraid of not following the rules. Don't be afraid of standing up and saying, no, I don't think this is the way God wants it. Amen. Examine authority. Examine traditions. Pray about them. Take them before the Lord. And if God says, no, this needs to be different, then don't be afraid to stand up. Because it's the people that aren't afraid to stand up and say something needs to be different. Those people are the ones that are going to change the world. Those people are the ones that are going to bring the lost to Christ. Those people are going to be the ones, like Rachel, that will reach out to a preacher who's not even sure if he believes in God anymore, and bring them back with a faith more strong and more vibrant than he could ever imagine. Different than it was, but very much stronger, very much more vibrant. I have never been closer to God than I am right now. And it's largely because of my sister Rachel, who I've never met, that passed away yesterday. So, anyway,